Right now at 10.
You say things to incite people, okay? And that's exactly what I did.
Passionate or crossing the line. Comments that caused a shoving match in the state house could have been made up. Plus, new tonight, President Donald Trump facing new allegations that are raising security concerns. Why it involves his cell phone. And challenges standing in the way to end the synthetic drug crisis in Austin that could end up hurting you at home. The Night Beat starts now. First tonight, the statement that caused a wild scene on the House floor. Representative Matt Rinaldi, a Republican from Irving, told House Democrats yesterday that he called ICE to report undocumented people in the chamber protesting the sanctuary city bill. Now we're learning that he may have made it all up. The Night Beat's Tina Shively joins us now with more. Tina?
Well, Quita, ICE tells ABC News they never received a call about the protesters. If that's true, it will be one of several empty threats made last night that one analyst says is the new political style of the day. A heated exchange on the last day of the legislative session. Lawmakers pushing, shouting, and shoving. People on the street are split after watching this video. Do they wince in embarrassment?
I'm not surprised.
Or applaud the efforts of the state lawmakers?
Honestly, it's kind of nice to see some excitement and some passion about something.
A reporter who's covered the Capitol for decades says lawmakers need to step back and ask some questions of their own.
How do we comport ourselves? How do people look at us? How do they respect the institution?
Ross Ramsey, executive editor of the Texas Tribune, has seen men in the state house act like boys before, so he says, but our new political climate is changing the game.
To see them actually sort of in ideological tribes doing this is different and amped up a lot, and I think, there are a lot of people looking at it and saying, that's new.
After the scuffle Monday night, State Representative Matt Rinaldi of Irving told reporters,
You say things to incite people, okay? And that's exactly what I did.
Later, he released a statement claiming he was also a victim, saying, quote, Representative Pancho Navarez threatened my life on the House floor after I called ICE on several illegal immigrants who held signs in the gallery. ICE tells ABC News they have no record of that call. And the intimidation went on.
There was a threat made from Representative Rinaldi to put a bullet in one of my colleagues' head.
Thankfully, none of those threats were carried out in the Capitol. After 140 days of debate over some of the most contentious issues Ramsey has seen.
The best thing you can say about it is it was the last day and they're not here staring at each other again.
In Austin, Tina Shively, KVUE News Nightbeat.
The Senate had a great session, and I give that credit to the 31 senators, Republicans and Democrats.
With the legislative session now behind them, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is sharing his thoughts on what lawmakers got accomplished and what he says they still need to do. Today, he sat down for a one-on-one interview with KVUE to talk about issues including property tax relief, his political future, and bathroom privacy.
If we allow these laws to be on the books and spread, then any man can walk in a bathroom and you can't say anything. They can just sit there and loiter. They can just sit there and watch. These are the sexual predators who are pervasive on the internet. And that's what we're trying to do, is to protect women's safety.
When asked about a special session, Patrick says he expects Governor Greg Abbott will call lawmakers back because they didn't pass a sunset bill to allow a handful of state agencies to continue operating, including the Texas Medical Board. New tonight, President Donald Trump now being accused of handing out his cell phone number to world leaders. The unusual move breaks diplomatic protocol and is raising concerns about security. Several reports say the president has urged leaders of Canada and Mexico to call him directly. The White House and those world leaders have yet to respond to the claims. This latest news comes as the Russian investigation takes yet another turn. The House Intelligence Committee is looking to a former Trump White House staffer for information. Boris Epstein says the House Intelligence Committee is asking him to volunteer information about the 2016 election investigation. Epstein worked in the White House press office but left there in March. Back here in Austin, a father in jail tonight for allegedly beating and killing his 2-year-old son. 23-year-old Raimundo Silva Salas is charged with injury to a child with serious bodily injury. That's a first-degree felony. Travis County sheriffs say they received a call that 2-year-old Logan Silva wasn't breathing. He was rushed to Dell Children's, where he was declared brain dead. The toddler had a hemorrhage on the left side of his head, bruises on his abdomen, and evidence of serious internal injuries. Injuries medical personnel believe are consistent with being shaken. And this man, 48-year-old Alejandro Gonzalez, is facing felony charges after his older son allegedly filmed him beating his disabled toddler. An affidavit says the toddler suffers from cerebral palsy. Gonzalez is charged with injury to a child, a third-degree felony. We have an update on the Seton Hospital computer troubles we told you about last night. Seton says it shut down 3,600 devices to protect patient and hospital data from a virus. It says normal operation should be at all sites by tomorrow night. Seton says no data was encrypted or lost. We're still waiting to learn the exact cause of a fire that destroyed a Wimberley cafe. Flames broke out at the Cypress Creek Cafe early this morning. 3 pets died. The fire starts on the kitchen side of the building, possibly sparked by some sort of explosion. It's considered a total loss at an estimated $750,000 in damage.
Upper 70s right now. The clouds will be rolling back here overnight. Quite scan, though, on Maxstorm Doppler radar. Much of the shower activity today happening to the south and southwest of Austin, including a severe thunderstorm dropping some hail in and around the San Antonio area. That thunderstorm fell apart as it moved over the Floresville area. For us, just some light to moderate showers over the hill country and to the south over portions of Hays and also Caldwell County. Mostly cloudy tonight, some fog by morning, especially if you live east of the interstate. Showers in the mix once again for tomorrow. Better chance of showers across the area by Thursday. We're watching just a parade of disturbances headed this direction from Mexico. We'll track those for you coming up.
Thanks, Albert. Austin's synthetic cannabinoid or K2 epidemic has shut down city streets and put a strain on emergency responders. Figuring out how to fight it is a fight in itself. KVUE's Michael Perchik joins us now to explain. Michael?
Quita, we've seen spikes in synthetic cannabinoid outbreaks several times this year. K2 drug abuse has exploded over these past few years. Now, while the problem is obvious, solutions so far have been anything but.
1,339 EMS patient contacts in a 4-month span.
Ambulance, what is the address of the emergency?
A dozen calls a day.
It could be an instant high, instant aggressive, or death. Now, they're playing Russian roulette with their own body for $5.
Synthetic cannabinoids, known as K2, are terrorizing the streets of Austin. Despite its name, it's nothing like marijuana. Just ask Austin Police Department Assistant Chief Jason Dusterhoft.
My biggest concern is people are literally comparing marijuana to K2. They're nothing. That's like comparing marijuana to heroin.
And Dr. Adam Winstock, who runs the London-based Global Drug Survey, which collects and analyzes data to make drug use safer.
It was a great marketing ploy by people trying to sell synthetic cannabinoid products, saying, hey, this is a bit like weed.
That marketing has led some to suggest that the answer to beating synthetic cannabinoids, legalizing marijuana. In 2014, the first year marijuana was legal in Colorado, the Drug Policy Alliance reported arrests for synthetic cannabinoids in the state dropped by 50%.
There was probably an opportunity 3 or 4 years ago, before the drugs became entrenched, before they became sold, marketed, and got their market, where actually, if cannabis had been more freely available without fear of recriminations, it may have stopped the stem.
Now, Winstock says marijuana legalization would have little impact in the overall battle. Moving forward, we face 3 key challenges in defeating the dissemination of the drug. First, its price tag. The cost for synthetic cannabinoids is low. That makes it popular amongst the homeless.
Weed is expensive. Synthetic cannabis products aren't. You go out to homeless people and go, hey, would you rather smoke weed than this? They'd probably go, I can't afford weed.
It's an issue front and center in downtown Austin. The bulk of the problem surrounds the Austin Resource Center for the Homeless, just 1 block away from APD headquarters.
When you look at it and it's $5 a stick to just go get K2, that's cheap.
Challenge 2, there's no field test for synthetic cannabinoids.
And then we're looking at a process that can take up to 6 months just to test the substance.
Dealers get charged, then get right back out on the streets.
If I catch you with K2 on it, I'm going to identify you, and as long as you don't have any other warrants, I'm going to have to let you go.
Which brings us to challenge 3. The drug's composition creates a continuous game of catch-up. Our laws and resources have been slow to adapt. Until now, suppliers could slightly modify the ingredients to evade penalty.
The law has changed, where now it is a much more wide array of chemical substances, whereas before it was very specific. That helped us.
That expanded list makes it more difficult for manufacturers to skirt the law. Since October, Dusterhoff says they filed more than 100 first-degree felony arrest warrants. It's why APD focuses on arresting the dealers, warning everyone else. APD is sending more resources to the Arch, but the department is still understaffed.
I don't want our number of police officers to be like our traffic problems. If we ignore it long enough, we're not going to be able to afford the fix. It's going to get so far ahead of us that it's too expensive to take care of.
Dusterhoff expressed confidence that Austin City Council will address the officer shortage, helping them fight the spread of synthetics. It's a problem APD and all of us can't afford to ignore.
Austin Mayor Steve Adler says he's had no discussions with local law enforcement about future marijuana legalization. As for that 6-month wait on synthetic cannabinoid results, Dusterhoff says APD is working to find a test that would cut the wait time down to just 1 month. I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News Night Beat.